You'll see exactly what we see so you can make your own decision. And we back our work with a 50-year warranty and a 25-year algae warranty. Plus, no cost upgrades with 0% financing and no payment for 6 months.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Welcome to Mississippi Live Weather 5. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon here on this Tuesday, and what a beautiful Tuesday it has been. A little humid and sticky. We've at least had some sunshine and less rainfall. I don't think a lot of folks have complained too much about that. But as we look into the next couple of days, we're going to continue to have, I think, some rainfall chances increasing once again over the next couple. We'll show you just how much and where you're most likely to see impact from that coming up here in a couple of minutes. Rain chances, I mentioned, increasing. We're going to look, I think, at them becoming more plentiful before the weekend and hopefully diminishing a little bit after that. We're going to have an update on how all the humidity related to this first, I guess, week of summer vacation for a lot of kids and maybe some adults out there is going to figure in. As far as the misery meter is concerned, an update on that index, which really focuses on the stickiness factor in a couple of minutes. As we talked about yesterday and this morning, rain chances have not been as plentiful today. They're going to get a little more likely next few hours here, but not become an everybody issue. We're 20% on that coverage of rainfall at 6 p.m., 30% by 9, and then diminishing after that heading into the overnight hours. Upper 60s by 3 o'clock in the morning, probably mid-60s to begin the first part of early morning on your Wednesday. You know, rivers, because of all the rain we've seen, mostly are in good shape. We've had some flood warnings the last couple of days. One of those in Noxubee County now, where we do have a minor flood stage there at the gauge there in the Macon area. Checking the latest here on Mama Justice Doppler radar. A few showers and thunderstorms showing up there. You know, we do show more than anything kind of a shield of cloud cover that's over top of us. This is our satellite loop over the last little bit here. Again, that flood warning, Noxubee County. And outside of that, most locations are mostly clear. So it's really just been kind of an isolated spot there. We've had a little bit of extra shower activity. I think the satellite here kind of shows the spots where we have some convergence there. Pretty much right along 59 up 45, where some of those showers and thunderstorms are a little bit heavier. Coming back over to the rainfall mode on Mama Justice Doppler radar and sort of looking at what we've had here. Again, some of these showers and thunderstorms a little heavier down here closer to Philadelphia, moving there in a direction eventually take it maybe toward Macon with that one there along Mississippi 19. We did previously have a severe thunderstorm well into the south. No issues with that at this point here. And watching this shower again lifting northward. Only 12 lightning strikes on this perspective over the last hour or so. We'll say about 20 miles per hour. So again, that Bethesda there, about 510, about 517 to DeWeese. Bloomfield at 522, Bogchito there at about 539 if it continues again northward at that speed there. Nanawaya close to about 557. DeKalb, again, one shower north, but no real significant number of lightning strikes there. We show about 12 in the last hour. Another one of these showers near Calix, and this one near Cookeville on the diminishing phase there, but this one had a little bit more lightning with it a little bit ago. The one up here close to Opry, maybe just a slightly stronger at this point in time. We have one near Trinity that's in the southern part of Lowndes County. This one a little heavier than maybe some of the others. And one of the things Gabe was talking about behind the scenes, we were discussing this, you know, these are going to have a little rotation with it. Now, in saying that, there's no tornado threat out of these. They're just too small to produce something along those lines. But again, some lightning going along with that. And honestly, this one doesn't even have a ton of lightning with it there. So as it moves toward, again, Dean Acres, about 522. We're looking Columbus there, kind of Midtown at 524 there. Munda Estates about 528. Blue Cut Estates there, 532 as that moves northward into the city of Columbus. Checking out some of our cameras there in and around the Columbus area. We'll start out one right along US 82 and really the cluster of cameras there that we're checking. Again, the dark clouds, you can see those gathering on the one in the lower left-hand corner here. So we'll zoom in on that one as you get the puffy cumulus clouds. 82 degrees in the Columbus area. Roadway still dry, though. Obviously, some rainfall coming with this. Luckily, no severe weather based on kind of what we're looking at this point in time. Going up the road there in Caledonia, that mix of cloud cover and bug. Watching again some of those wasps showing up on that perspective there as well. Though you compare that where you do have some of the towering cumulus clouds there versus what you don't have in Pittsburgh. Just a beautiful day coming in 84 degrees right now there in Calhoun County, and up in Oxford. showing up with those mostly clear skies as well. At this time, again, puffy cumulus clouds, only 82 at this moment in time. So back here on Mama Justice Doppler radars, we're kind of bring it in here on the wider shot. The stalled front to the north, one of our features there, but ultimately it's just a wide open Gulf that's one of the bigger stories. And as we continue to have, again, the motion of, humid air right out of the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, Gulf of whatever, that's what's working to continue to keep us humid and sticky for today. And looking at that heat index, it's not over the top, but we do show it's significant, and at some, fairly high levels there, 90s to mid 80s. It's really the stickiness factor, obviously more significant down closer to the coast. And if you're looking for dry air, there's just none out there. Anytime you're in the purples, we're in the summertime stickiness. That's at least flirting with the 70s for that measure of moisture, that dew point that we often track there. So moisture right out of the Gulf continuing into this evening, but you can see by, say, 9 to 10 o'clock, mostly dry conditions. So still some spotty showers out there, some rumbles possible overnight. But I think once we get past really about 11 o'clock or so, most of our overnight period expected to be dry as those southerly winds continuing to keep the stickiness around. And while that front sits up to the north of us, we'll watch some waves of moisture moving from down here in Texas and Louisiana up our direction. As that happens, again, that'll bring us more rainfall chances for tomorrow, more limited initially there, and then picking up as we progress toward midday and into the afternoon. High temperatures, mid-80s, almost spot on what we expect for this time of the year. And that heat index probably pushing up close to the 90-degree point. But those showers, again, remain fairly consistent once again. Now, come up here in 60 seconds, we'll be looking at that misery meter, which helps you to kind of look at just the overall stickiness factor. Important for, I guess, planning ahead there if you're going to be outside, maybe working in the garden for any extended period of time. That'll help you tell which days are just a little more yick than others. And we'll be looking at those rain chances and how much rainfall we could be looking at later this week as Mississippi Live Weather continues here from the Room to Room Weather Center in 60 seconds.
Looking for a place to finally call home? At Tupelo Home Center, we make it easy. From finding the perfect home to making financing a breeze, we'll take care of everything. Your new home is closer than you think. Pre-qualify today at TupeloHomecenter.com.
Room to Room's Memorial Day sale is here. No tax, 36-month special financing, and don't miss our red hot doorbusters. Bedroom sets starting at $9.99, sofas starting at $6.99. Hurry in, the sale won't last long, only at Room to Room Tupelo.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lovehon.
Scattered showers for some, but a lot of us, we're still pretty clear. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lovehon. Thank you so much for supporting us here on Mississippi Live. You've seen probably more blue skies out today than the last few days. Obviously, making one of those spots, not the case as we're looking through the tower there towards some of those showers. That one, I think, actually a little bit back to the east of the Macon area. I appreciate the North Mississippi Storm Chasers, our partner with this Tower Cam network here across North Mississippi. So these are the showers out there near McLeod, along 14 there, moving northward, Cliftonville, Trinity. Again, moderate rainfall, that is it. If we kind of check the severe threats on these, kind of the peak impacts, I mean, we're looking probably heavy rainfall, the main impacts out of any of those. That one up north shows up a little bit heavier than maybe some of the others. The one that's up here closer to Whiteberry, moving toward Dean Acres and New Hope, generally kind of lifting in northerly direction. Maybe some hail, large hail. I don't know that we're quite strong enough for that there. Checking our hail swath with True Shield Roofing. No hail showing up on that one as well. It's just more that heavy rainfall that we're seeing out of this. Looking at, again, storm total over the last week or so, we've had some pretty heavy amounts, right? But looking over the last 3 hours out of this, it's been more in that half-inch rainfall zone. That's about it, kind of at the heaviest that we have seen. And clearly you can tell where those showers have been the most plentiful, right here along the Mississippi-Alabama state line. Back over on Mama Justice Doppler radar as we slide northward here and looking at a little boundary. If you look closely, and maybe it's not instantly obvious on here, But we have this little green line you see here from near Starkville stretching up there toward Aberdeen. That's kind of the edge of some rain-cooled air. We'll see additional development. Starkville back out here closer to Okolona, perhaps up towards Shannon along that over the next couple of hours. We go to West Point right now. That camera just kind of looking for some vertical development, seeing if we have something that's kind of popped up there and how high that's gotten. Again, we do show some darker clouds, but that's it. Pretty humid out there. That dew point at 73. Again, that means it's really sticky. Something shared up the road in Amory as well from our camera up there in Monroe County. Not a lot of vertical development there. Those winds south and east at about 8 miles per hour. So it is sticky, and I think that means our misery meter is going to be fairly high. Always pray for the La Pong kids because they end up in the backgrounds of some of these graphics there. I said, Leo, look miserable. Man. He did a great job on that. Hey, so when this is up here in the 70s, it is definitely humid. We're more manageable when it's less humid, and we do get closer to that, I think, by the latter part of the weekend to first next week. So we're not full on July yet, but our meteorologist Gabe Maynor, as we're looking at this, we're definitely trending more that direction, also considering the fact that we're going to start to have, I think, better chances for some rainfall, I think, coming back as we go throughout this next week or so as well, right?
Yeah, Matt, that video just golden there on a misery meter, and I feel like it embodies it so well. So a really great job to Leo, and appreciate you putting that in there too. Going to be another added addition to our Mississippi Live weather graphics. But taking a look at those rain chances, that continues to be the story. We're either going to be miserable or we're going to be dealing with that rainfall, that rain-cooled air, something that's going to climb heading into our Wednesday and Thursday as you see those percentages around 40, and then we're 50% moving closer to our Friday and eventually into the weekend as well. So day planner through the evening, those chances not going to be nearly as high as they will later on this week. So a lot of us staying on the mostly dry side of things, 80 degrees by 7, 73 by 9, and 72 by 11. While the moisture is not a ton, it does still keep that mild air around overnight and into the start of our Wednesday. And like Matt was mentioning, a few of those heavier downpours down there towards the Golden Triangle and really further south. We're also getting that additional boundary towards the north and west. Along that stationary front, expecting additional development to happen northeast Arkansas into northwest Mississippi by 10 p.m. and still getting the effects of that boundary even by 10 p.m. towards Booneville, Iuka, Red Bay, and even down there towards Fulton. Continue through those overnight hours, and while a few pop-up showers are possible, overall coverage remains mostly dry. So we're going to carry those conditions that we've had today into those overnight periods as well, and working our way into that morning commute. Again, mostly dry conditions in play. I told you rain chances were increasing into our Wednesday. Well, it'll be more towards the afternoon when we expect that to move in. 67 degrees Houston, Tupelo, and Eupora, 70 Belzona and Greenville, 66 South Haven and Holly Springs. So like I mentioned, still going to be a mild start to our Wednesday. And as we start that countdown into our August 1st countdown, 68 degrees by 8 for our Wednesday, 76 noon, 80 there by 3, and that countdown at 66 days. And you can see the UV index going to be prominent as well as we enter into not fully summer months yet, but we're on summer vacation, so we expect that good weather to stick around. So as I bring it back into our home view on our future cast, you can see that the overall coverage throughout the morning remains pretty minimal. A pop-up shower here, pop-up shower there, but overall, we're mostly dry pretty much everywhere here in North Mississippi. By noontime, we're getting more of those boundaries to pop up, and that'll allow some additional development with those brief heavy downpours possible, that coverage increasing by the afternoon. And what we're getting is that complex moving in from the south, and that's going to be the area that we're focused on for some of those heavier downpours to take place and working its way further north into North Mississippi by the early evening and into those overnight hours, as we'll see here in just a moment. Let's first see those high temperatures and why we're so much warmer tomorrow compared to what we had today and compared to what we had yesterday is because that drier air allows more of that heat to build in, but also allows for that misery to set in as well, that mugginess that we have here in Mississippi, to allow these feels-like values to be well into the upper 80s and even a few locations, low 90s, not impossible depending on how dry we are. But overnight, you can see that complex moving in southwest Mississippi and extending well into North Mississippi, and that's going to see those brief heavy downpours, but overall going to be light to moderate rainfall with a few locations dealing with those heavier downpours. By the overnight period, that will remain in play, and we're going to see some widespread showers even into the well into those pre-dawn hours before working our way into our Thursday. But rain chances remain the story even into Thursday, and those will continue throughout the day. But with all that rainfall, continue to see those mild temperatures stick around. We're 68 Houston, Amory, 69 Columbus and Starkville, 67 Boonville and Iuka, and 70 showing up all the way through the Delta and up the Mississippi River. Continuing through our Thursday, you see those rain chances sticking around, and a few parts of the area going to be dealing with those heavy downpours. Grenada, Yalobusha, and Calhoun County by 9 a.m. Thursday. Continuing through the day, and again, those boundaries, that looks like almost a training setup there. Let me go back a graphic here, and we're going to go back into this future cast. And I know we don't want to focus on one specific location, but you see how that boundary forms right there, 9 a.m.? Watch this same location, 9 to 12. Heavy downpours over an extended period of time. That's some areas where we could see some of that flash flooding concern. Still under that level 1 threat as we get into Thursday, but that's exactly why. Because where these boundaries set up, that allows additional development to take place. And, if we're dealing with our strike model, that is going to be an increase in coverage. And as we've seen for our Wednesday, we're expecting some of those widespread chances to continue. That very well could carry over into our Thursday, especially during those afternoon hours as this frontal boundary sets overhead for our Thursday. Those will continue to develop additional rain chances for Thursday evening, so keep that rain gear around from start to finish Wednesday and Thursday as we're going to be dodging those showers. But as we look across the majority of the area, if we do stay dry, then we're still looking at low to mid 80s with those heat indices climbing as well. We'll include those at 6 o'clock tonight, so that way we're able to walk through that forecast. But this is something we're paying attention to, especially working into a busy weekend here in the Magnolia State. We're 86 Friday, 84 Saturday, 84 Sunday, but this is actually up towards Nebraska. That's right, our Ole Miss Rebels going to be traveling to their regional play all the way in Lincoln, as they are the 2 seed in their regional, hopefully coming back or taking over the Lincoln Regional and going to upset Nebraska, but going to be a very exciting matchup there, and exciting because not expecting as much rainfall. Then we come back to Mississippi, and reality sets in that the rain chances will unfortunately stick around once again. Friday we're at 83, 84 Saturday, and 85 by Sunday, but I know all of you are paying attention to the icons there on the right side as rain chances and storm chances continue, and if you watched any of the SEC tournament this past week, there was always a rain delay. Even down in Pearl, we were dealing with rain delays nearly every day. We're going to carry that over into this week as well as regional play takes off in Starkville. So excited the Bulldogs get to host, but I know other teams are thinking, really? We got to go to gloomy, rainy North Mississippi. Hey, it's usually beautiful here. Unfortunately, just going to have to dodge some showers into this weekend. We're 50% coverage on our Friday, 30% for both Saturday and Sunday. Again, some rain delays possible, but we'll update you as we approach that weekend forecast. Early next week, rain chances are trending in the right direction, and that is down, finally giving us a bit of a break from all of this rainfall and giving us some drier conditions to enjoy. We're going to be looking ahead to those rain chances coming up later on tonight at 6 o'clock, but we're also going to be talking about the latest on those rainfall outputs, talking heat indices for locations that stay dry. So a lot more to discuss in this forecast. So of course, we're going to keep eyes on that behind the scenes. Before I wrap this up, I want to pull up chat real quick and make sure I'm not missing anything. I see, yeah, mentioning the misery meter forecast. If you missed that at the top of the broadcast, we're going to air that once again at 6 o'clock to show off our lovely Leo Lobhan, who is our fantastic actor for our misery meter index. So yeah, if you missed it at the beginning, tune in tonight at 6 and you'll be able to see that once again. So appreciate you guys joining us. If you've not done so already, download that Mississippi Live Weather app and stay tuned to our broadcast coming up at 6 o'clock this evening. Coming up at 9 and 10, we're going to continue to discuss those rain chances as well as the latest on our model outputs. That as Mississippi Live Weather continues throughout your Tuesday evening. So keep it here for the very latest.
I have been going to Tupelo Smiles my whole life. When I was a kid, I was unhappy about some uneven coloring on my teeth after getting my braces off, which at the time there really wasn't a fix. I was recently made aware of a solution that would totally fix it, which is exactly what we did. They not only heard my concerns, but they never stopped looking to solve my problem, and that's why I love Tupelo Smiles.